Hello Electroheads, this is the new Vauxhall Mokka, and I'm going to say that again because I can't quite believe it. This is the new Vauxhall Mokka, look at it! This car has undergone one of the most spectacular glow-ups in automotive history, even outside of automotive history. I think the only glow-up I can think of on par with this one is Joe Exotic's husband from Tiger King, do you remember him, the one with the teeth situation? And not only is it a good looking car, it's also very clever and electric, obviously, or I wouldn't be here. Today I'm going to give you a first look around this car because we are among the first people in the UK to get to see it in the metal. It's no big deal. And there's only one place we could possibly start, which is the way it looks. Now I'm going to be honest with you, like really honest, like more honest than I should be considering I'm the only person in this room that doesn't work for Vauxhall. I didn't like the first gen Mokka. It just looked a bit like someone had taken a photo of a Corsa and stretched it. And now it's turned into this, the Gen 2 Mokka. For my money, the best looking crossover SUV that I've ever seen. It's muscly, it's fantastic. And the funny thing is, we actually saw this car a couple of years ago, we just didn't know it yet. Because 2 years ago, in 2018, Vauxhall unveiled something called the GTX Experimental Concept. And clearly, Vauxhall was so happy with it, they were like, let's just make it exactly like that. Seriously, you find me another car that's gone from concept to production so unscathed. Go ahead, comment below if you can think of one. You won't be able to, because there isn't one. Right, let me show you a few of my favourite details on this car, starting with the front, where we have what Vauxhall calls the visor. That is this strip here that runs the width of the car and houses the headlights and the badge in this letterboxed shape. Big fan of this design cue, which is a good thing because soon we're going to be seeing it across all Vauxhall models. And fun fact, this is inspired by the Opel Manta. There you go. These headlights, very fancy, LED numbers, and they have a very special party trick. You can use your high beams in this car without worrying about dazzling or blinding other road users. If you've got your high beams on and a car comes the other way, these headlights will detect that car and just block out that little slice of light so that the other person isn't dazzled. I guess my only feedback there is, what if I want to dazzle other road users? What if they displease me? No, we'll cut that out, sorry, it's very early. Moving on to the side, first thing you notice about this car, very short overhangs. The new Mokka is actually a little bit shorter than the old one, and it's got shorter overhangs, but the wheelbase is longer, which means a little bit easier to maneuver around tight city streets, but more room inside for your legs. Another detail on the side I quite like is this swoopy line at the back here, which kind of tricks your eyes. The thing about crossovers is they're not the easiest cars to make look good because fundamentally they're kind of just taller, boxier hatchbacks. But this line here says, no, ignore all of this. Look at me. I'm not boxy, I'm swoopy. Other things of note on the side, two-tone wheels, big fan of those. Two-tone paint job as well on a Vauxhall. And can we talk about how green it is? I like it. Around the back, we've got a set of nice skinny LED tail lights to match the headlights at the front. And, interesting one here, shiny new badge. The badge has been redesigned and simplified, and we're seeing it for the first time on the new Mokka. Also, and I'm not sure how well the camera is going to pick this up, it's got quite a nice stance on it, this car. It's such a shame when you get a really nicely designed car and then the wheels are kind of not filling the arches properly. It looks a bit wimpy. But this car got a nice thick stance to it. Happy with that. Overall, I think the thing that impresses me the most about the design of this car is that it's striking without being too controversial. Vauxhall clearly wants to attract trendy new customers with this design, but it also doesn't want to scare anyone off. I think the Honda-E looks fantastic, but I have mates who absolutely hate it. I don't think anyone's going to dislike the way that this thing looks. Okay, this one is really, really green and it's got two-tone wheels. That's how I'd have mine. But put it in some silver paint, some sensible alloys, your grandma would love it. Right, welcome to the cabin of the revamped Mokka-E, where again, much has changed. Although one thing that hasn't changed is I'm sat nice and high, which is very important in a crossover SUV, because to people who buy crossover SUVs, sitting up high is the most important thing. I don't know why. I mean, I really don't know why, but it is. So here we are. And there's plenty of room in here. I am freakishly tall, as we know, but even I have got a good amount of headroom. It's not the biggest car, so if you push the seat back to my freakish driving position, you're not going to have much legroom in the back, but I think normal-sized humans are not going to have any issues. Boot space is slightly reduced on the electric one. The normal Mokka will have 350 litres. This one has a still very reasonable 310. The dashboard is all digital now. In this higher spec version, I've got a 10-inch and 12-inch screen. Lower spec versions will have two 7-inch screens. And what I do like is they've kept some physical buttons for the really important things. Too many car brands now just put everything in the touchscreen and have no physical buttons. No one wants that. All it means is that no one above the age of 16 will be able to turn their heated seat on. I wish I could tell you more about the infotainment and how it all works today, but unfortunately, due to COVID restrictions, I am under very strict instructions not to touch anything in this car except for the steering wheel and the gear selector. Good thing I didn't wear my arseless chaps today. Right, let's talk about some important numbers. The Mokka-E comes with the same 50 kilowatt hour battery pack that you get in the Corsa E. Because it is a little bit taller and less aerodynamic, range is down by 8 miles, but is still a very respectable 201 miles. Charging can be as quick as 0 to 80% in 30 minutes if you find a rapid charger. I went like that when I said 30 minutes. Don't know why. There are 3 drive modes, normal, eco and sport. Power is 136 horsepower, which is plenty zippy around town. You're not going to break any land speed records, but more than enough. As for pricing, this launch edition, which comes with some very fancy features like leather seats, massage seats for the driver, wireless phone charging and two-tone wheels, comes in at a little under 35 grand after the government EV grant. The base model can be had for a little under 31,000. One final thing. I said at the beginning of the video that the Mokka-E was clever, and when I said that, I was actually referring to the platform that this car is built on, which is very clever, and I'm going to geek out about it for about 60 seconds now, so please excuse me. Generally speaking, there are 2 ways of building an electric car. Option number 1, you take one of your pre-existing petrol models, you rip out all the noisy bits, and you put some batteries in. It's quite easy, but it ends up being a bit of a waste of space because generally speaking, engines take up more room than batteries. Option number 2, you build your electric car from the ground up, like VW did with the ID3. It works well, but it's very, very expensive to do. PSA, which is the group that owns Vauxhall, as well as Citroën and Peugeot, have come up with a third way. They've built a new platform which is designed with both petrol and electric in mind. This new Mokka will be available as both a petrol and electric car, but because of its clever platform, you'll still get all the extra space inside that you usually just get for pure electric models, and from Vauxhall's point of view, it can be made in the same factory as the petrol version, which means it's much more cost effective to make, which means they can get on with electrifying all their other cars sooner. And the coolest thing is, it's modular. This platform can actually be customized in terms of track and wheelbase, meaning soon every small car made by Vauxhall, Citroën and Peugeot, all of them will be built on top of this platform. That's very clever. So there we have it, the very new, very green Vauxhall Mokka. Let us know in the comments, what do you think of its bold new design? Would you have one? Would you not? If not, why not? Let us know in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you soon.